Chair, members. The A1 is vocabulary and word pictures, and we look for vocabulary words and putting the words together to draw a picture of what the subject is. And the subject was a day that transformed my life. So we think that was a good starting, a good introduction. She said the memory of it is crisp today as it was yesterday. This memory, it really is embedded in her. So you thought, what is it going to be? So your attention was got straight away. The general presentation there was confident manner. She was confident, and voice was fluent and clear, and enunciation was good, and there was lots of eye contact and facial gestures to enhance the speech. The day that she described was a day when she was going to school for the first time, to Brookwood Park. And she described the journey visually. You could actually imagine her going there. The way she described it all with gestures. She was a lot of gestures here. She said that there was bumping over a cattle grid and straight lanes, and she used her hands as straight lanes, bumping over the cattle grid, and students, one here, she was 5, lots of hand gestures and walls of the school. So the gestures enhanced the words that she was using to describe how she got to this school, and what sort of a school it was, and where the school was, and she was with her father, so you can actually visualise her worrying that she was going to this new school. So this was the day that was being described using word pictures. Some examples here were the use of words, unfurling grass and punctuated landscape, sort of alliteration, which is good words all linked together. Voluptuous branches on a tree, not just a tree had branches, not voluptuous branches on this tree. It's a good word description. And things like, she referred to a poet as well, William Blake, Green and Pleasant Land, to describe what a green and pleasant land is. And she understands it because of all these voluptuous trees, branches on the trees. Symmetrical oblong windows, another alliterative description. And then she compared the lack of concentration with attention. So there's a lot of clever words all matched up together, which is what you're supposed to do on this. I should mention at this point that the speaker has passed the A1 and she can go on to the A2, because the point of the A1 is to do all the word pictures and vocabulary. There was also examples of burning inside and a heart burning loudly. So really expressive, emotional, and then she feared authority. And she didn't know there was authority until she realised it was a headmaster. And you could imagine how frightening that was, because she fears authority, and she's chatting to somebody and suddenly he says, "I'm the headmaster." Oh dear. So she described that so you could get the feeling for it. She was a gibbering wreck as well at this point. And she realised that the teacher and pupil are actually the same after a while, and she was no longer this gibbering wreck. So the way she described the experience was quite graphic. The way the ending was good. She said the effect of others that others people have on her, and then she mentioned when she met her husband, and that was the ultimate test of trust. I won't ask why, but then she said, and she ended on a good slogan with "What a difference a day makes," which is a good way to end it. The learning points on it, really, I was going to say halfway through that there's too many of these hand gestures, but obviously she was doing that to emphasise the speech and the words she was using. But personally, I think the words she was using alone were alliterative and varied enough to describe the feeling that she felt when she went to her school for the first time. and it seemed to be quite an event which had marked her in later years. And she's described it in good detail. Timing was very good. It was 8 minutes, 8 seconds. And I was told that she had a little bit more, but she did a good trick here, which I'll share with you. She'd finished 8 minutes, 8 seconds. She actually had a little bit more, which she could have gone on to if the red light hadn't come on. But the red light came on. We weren't aware of that, because it was a perfect in its own entity, which is better than not having enough and then running out and having to stop early. So yeah, you could maybe have an extra bit that you don't need to use if you get to your 8 minutes. So that's a good trick. So there we go. So basically, it was a good speech, and she goes on to the next level.